Boatworks today is sponsored by Total Boat and Alexseal Yacht Coatings, as well as supported by the generosity from the beautiful folks over on Patreon. Thank you so much.
Huh. These weren't here a couple of days ago. I think we're making progress. So, welcome back everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. My name is Andy with Boatworks today, and this week I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still not 100%, but I'm feeling a hell of a lot better than I did last week, that's for sure. Now, because I kind of felt like crap pretty much most of this week, I didn't do, or I should say I wasn't able to do what I was anticipating doing, which was taking that trip and checking out some of the other marinas and looking for some potential used project boats. So, instead, what I want to do this week is kind of do a follow-up to a lot of questions and some really good comments that I got on last week's video, kind of proposing, they are floating the idea of what a cement truck can and cannot do. So I had a lot of people asking, well, it's hard to tell on camera how steep the grade is coming up on this hill here. So I'm gonna find out for sure. I'm gonna put an actual angle finder meter thingamajigger on there, and we're gonna see how steep the steepest part actually is. So right at the base of this access road is pretty much the steepest part of the incline. I'm gonna check it in a couple different areas, but just by eyeballing it, I think right as soon as you come off the road onto this access road, this seems to be kind of the steepest part. Okay, so right here, this looks to be about a 10% or 10 degree grade. We'll check a couple other spots. Well, this is actually a little bit less. About 8 degrees. So last week the consensus was that this should be absolutely zero problem for really any kind of a truck. Most of the cement trucks or concrete trucks, whatever you want to call it, somebody tried to correct me on that. Either way, whatever it is, I really don't care. But pretty much the consensus was that this didn't look like anything to be concerned about. Now that we know what the actual incline is, about 10 degrees, I think that's going to be at its worst. Does that change anybody's opinion? So this past week I had an interesting conversation with the folks that we bought the house and property from, and coincidentally they're also the ones that built the place. Now when I say built the place, I don't mean they just basically cut the checks and had the contractors do all the work. I'm not going to mention his name, but he was very, very hands-on with specifically with all the heavy equipment stuff, the dirt moving and all that stuff. But I initially contacted him to see if, by any chance, when they were building everything here, if they had ever had a cement truck come up that access road. And he just kind of paused for a minute. He's like, that's kind of a first. I've really never had anybody ask that or even, consider that. So then when I asked him, in what order did things kind of get done? In other words, when did the main driveway come into the house, when did that get paved? He's like, well, that was pretty much the last thing that got done. All the house was built, all the concrete work was done. Everything that was done at the house as well as up into this barn here, that was all done, and then the driveway was paved last. But he did say, he's like, I'm not going to guarantee anything, and honestly, I wouldn't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't guarantee anything either. But he did say that when they put in the driveway for the house as well as the access road, they were both done the exact same manner. That basically they trenched out or dug down about 24 inches. He said 24 to 30 inches deep, just right down. Filled all that in with 1 inch rock or 1 inch gravel. I'm sure there's a technical name and I'm gonna get corrected on what it's actually called. I don't care, it's 1 inch rock. And then on top of that, then they came in with gravel, compacted the whole thing, and then the previous owner, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they actually had one of those big highway roller compactor things to really, press everything down. Then after that, they let it settle. Then they came in and they did the asphalt on the main driveway. So what he was saying, he's like, I can't guarantee that the driveway would not have any problems, but he's like, I would be a little bit surprised if it did. So what he was trying to get at is that he thinks, and again, no guarantees, and I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't make any kind of a guarantee like that either. But what he was getting at was that he didn't think that there would be too much of an issue actually having the cement trucks come up that paved driveway and then up to the barn here for pouring the new slab on the addition. I don't know. You know, I was corrected last week numerous times. I had no idea what cement trucks weigh. I know they're heavy, obviously, but I was saying maybe 20, 30,000 pounds. Well, it turns out they're a little bit closer to 70,000 pounds. Now, you know, 3, 4 axles on these things, you know, so it is spread out a little bit. But I mean, what do you think? The asphalt that he had, you know, laid down on the driveway, that's about 3. I think he said about 3 inches thick. And again, you know, considering you got that 24-inch compacted base of gravel and rock, do you think that would be a safe chance to take? I don't know. I mean, if the asphalt gets all jacked up, well, then I'm looking at having to replace that. But you know, and again, I have no idea what that would cost. If I had to guess, I would say the driveway is probably 400 or 500 feet long. You know, at least the paved section. So I don't know. If anybody does asphalt work around here, if that does get jacked up and I have to replace it, what kind of bill would I be looking at for that? So this past week, there's also been some progress on the electrical. Now, where I left off, you know, I was having a hell of a time trying to find anybody that can come in and get the meter socket and all that stuff installed. So on, I think it was Tuesday, one of the Alexseal reps came out here. They had to do some scoping for something and measurements, and got to talking with him. And you know, it seems like, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, you know, this is typically how it is in a lot of smaller areas, but it seems like there's a bit of a good old boys club around here. You know, pretty much everybody knows everybody that's, you know, kind of got their fingers in some aspect of construction, and they all kind of work together and bounce things back and forth. So I was talking with him, you know, and just kind of explaining, you know, that I was having a hard time, you know, trying to find someone to come in and do this, because you know, again, trying to expedite the process so I can get things up and running. And he's like, well, why don't you just get a hold of your neighbor? I'm like, well, hell, I have no idea who my neighbors are. I've never even seen one of them. I don't know who they are. So he gave me his name and number, gave him a call. Lo and behold, like not even a mile away from me, the guy is an electrician and a plumber. And well, as far as I know, we're going to be getting together tonight. I'm recording this on Friday morning. We're going to be getting together tonight and to kind of look it over. Now, I don't know for sure that this is actually going to be a go or that he has time, but at least maybe it's just because he's close. He is willing to come up and at least take a look. Now, hopefully, he's going to say, you know, no problem. We can get this taken care of in the next week or so. So we shall see. Now, this is all something that I'm just not used to anymore. You know, from back where I left back in Wisconsin, you know, I mean, we had been there for years. I mean, 20 years. So, you know, over that period of time, you get to know pretty much everybody. I mean, if I ever needed something, I know who to call. I mean, someone knew someone, and, you know, you could always get something done pretty quickly. And, you know, that was just kind of a very, very nice convenience. Now, moving here, you know, I'm the new kid on the block, and I don't know anybody. So trying to get anything done up here for me is almost like, kind of like pulling teeth. I mean, a little bit. Just because I don't have those contacts. Now, hopefully, now the rep from Alexseal that I met with on Tuesday when he was up here doing his measurements. This guy, I mean, I'm not going to call him a kid. He's basically my age. He's a few years younger, I guess. Born and raised here. He's a contractor himself. He does some side work for Alexseal. But you want to talk about a well-connected dude. He's like, you need electrical? Call this guy. Cement work? Call this guy. You need someone to do some framing? Call this guy. So, I mean, he just basically gave me a laundry list of basically my go-to people to try and get this project done. Now, whether they're going to have availability or not to come in and do this, that's a whole nother matter. But it's, you know, contacts are everything. You know, I mean, and I know that works that way in a lot of respects of life, especially with work. But contacts are key. I mean, if you know someone, you can drop a name, all of a sudden you start getting callbacks. you start getting a little bit more cooperation from folks. And I gotta say, that was a huge, huge step. Again, I'm not gonna mention his name, but I doubt he's even gonna see this, but in case you are, thank you so much. So that's about all the updates as far as this building project goes. I mean, this past week has been mostly me trying to recoup, but mostly a lot of time just spent making phone calls and, well, you know, progress is being made. It's in baby steps, but some progress is better than no progress. Now, before I kind of close things out here, I do want to kind of make a little bit of a, I guess, an FYI. For the past few months, Jamestown or Total Boat, they've been out of one of my key products, which is their Total Buff. It's the buffing compound that I use for the Alexseal paints as well as on gel coats. And, you know, with the situations with supply and all that being what they are for pretty much everybody, they've been out, I believe, for about of that product for the last couple of months. Well, yesterday, so what, Thursday afternoon, about 5 o'clock, I got a text from them. They finally got restocked. Everything came in. So if you're looking for a Total Buff, or for Total Buff, so just kind of planning ahead for this fall time, you know, haul out is, unfortunately it's not that far away. I mean, we're going into August here next week. So just kind of planning ahead. If you, if part of your routine is basically when you haul the boat out to do all your buffing and your polishing and waxing and that kind of thing, might be a good idea to kind of stock up on that stuff now while they have it. It just came in. I don't know how long it's going to last. Hopefully I don't get them sold out again right away. We shall see. So I will have a link down below for that. It is going to be an affiliate link for Total Boat. It doesn't cost you anything more, and when you make a purchase using that link, it does help me out a little bit, which, you know, given what I've got, you know, coming up ahead of me here in the next 2-3 months, every little bit would help. So if you decide to use that link, thank you in advance. I greatly appreciate it. And again, hopefully this doesn't sell them out right away, but I would jump on that wagon and get the stuff ordered now so that come fall time, you got it when you need it. And on that note, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I've got a busy week ahead of me, and I'm still trying to, you know, get over that hump as far as feeling a little bit better. Next week, I've got my inspection and the appraisal on our old house, so hopefully we'll be able to get that closed here pretty soon. Hopefully there aren't any hiccups or anything. So I've got to get ready for that, as well as, well, hopefully by then I'll feel well enough to actually go out and do some driving around and look around the area for project boats and just kind of see what all's around me. So on that note, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Thank you in advance. I really, really appreciate that. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything along those lines, please leave those down below in the comment section. I'll do my best to get back with you. And as always, thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.
This has been a Boatworks Today production.